The new iPad mini 2024 is here, and you probably shouldn't buy it, just speaking frankly. So, interesting thing about this tablet is it's basically the exact same tablet that came out 3 years ago, but they upgraded the processor. It has higher baseline storage, and there's a couple little quality of life improvements, like it went from Wi-Fi 6 to Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3 from Bluetooth 5, and it still has the tiny little LCD screen that's still only 60 hertz, which is ridiculous to me, even more so that we're still dealing with this in 2024, but it's 499 bucks. So when you look at things, 499 bucks, I mean, it's a small tablet. It's 8.3 inches. It's not the biggest thing in the world, and there's not a lot of fans of this form factor. I actually am a big fan of this form factor. I love the iPad mini, the last one that came out a few years ago. And I think it serves a purpose. But 499, 60 hertz, a chip that's basically like 3 years, well, it's not 3 years old, a chip that's basically like over a year old now. And yeah, it is a slight upgrade. I mean, we had the A15 Bionic in the last one. Now we've got the A17 Bionic Pro, even though they dropped the GPU core off on it. That's not going to matter very much. It's annoying to me that they didn't just bump it to the A18. I'm like, why are you releasing this tablet in 2024? We've got the A18. You're putting it in the cheapest, lowest model of your iPhone, the iPhone 16. Why would you not put it in the iPad mini? I'm guessing they just had a bunch of chips left over. I don't know. Maybe they just had components laying around and decided, hey, we're going to scrap this together so we can try and rip people off for Apple Intelligence, which nobody wants. So I'm fairly certain that this iPad will probably not sell very well. I don't think the original iPad mini, well, the one from 3 years ago, sold very well. Clearly not the original. It was the sixth. This is the iPad mini 7. The cameras are unchanged. The battery's basically unchanged. The charging speed is basically unchanged. Like, there's no significant upgrades here other than it just has a 2-year newer processor, or 3-year newer processor, kind of, and it has Apple Intelligence, which it doesn't even have yet. Like, we're still advertising these Apple Intelligence features that are not here yet. We're finally going to get the first batch here sometime before the end of the month, which have not rolled out yet with iOS 18.1, but the tablet itself is coming out on the 23rd. And they have a cellular option as well if you want to pay an extra $150, 649 bucks for this tiny tablet with a cellular connectivity option. So those are kind of your options. Now, I am glad that it upgraded from 64 to 120 gigabytes of storage, but one thing that irks me is they dropped Apple Pencil 2 support. So you can use the Apple Pencil Pro if you want, but you got to buy an all-new one if you wanted to upgrade, which is not really an upgrade. If you've got an iPad mini 2021, hold on to it. Yeah, it's cool that the new GPU can do ray tracing, but you're still playing on the crappiest LCD screen known to man in any product probably this year, and it's still only 60 hertz, and you're not going to be able to realize the difference. It's going to look exactly the same. It's still going to be that chunky, clunky 60 hertz LCD screen. Supposedly, it got rid of the jelly effect whenever you're like changing between animations on the screen, but yeah, that's about it. No jelly effect and a new chip. So yeah, I really feel like this is like a parts bin tablet. I don't see any reason for this phone to exist other than Apple just wanted to be able to throw out a version of it that they could say has Apple Intelligence, which isn't even here yet. Like, they could have waited on this till next year and still put an A18 in it, but instead I guess they had just like a bunch of boxes, and some developer at Apple was like, hey guys, if we make a new iPad mini, we can put these old A17 Pro chips that we have no use for anymore in them. So I had kind of praised Apple a little bit because I was happy that they didn't shortchange us with the chips when it came to the iPhone 16 this year. Get the A18 Bionic, fantastic. We weren't using a year-old chip in the new phone, and now here they come out and they use the older chip that in a product nobody was really asking for and nobody really expected. So, I mean, from a performance perspective, I'm sure if you get one, it's probably going to be fine. I mean, you're not going to have any issues running anything on an 8-inch screen with an A17 Pro. I mean, it's a really good chip. I mean, if basically it was in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max last year, but that does raise concerns about heating. I mean, I know they're not putting any serious heating in this, heat piping, thermal management. So is it going to have heat issues like the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max series did? I don't know. It's something that's going to have to be tested when it comes out. But I was just looking at it, I'm like, okay, new tablet, nothing's basically new, but they tossed a new chip in there, and they're going to add Apple Intelligence at some point. And remember this, we're not even going to have Apple Intelligence fully deployed until sometimes next year. So I have to throw this caveat out there because everybody says this all the time. Nobody ever applies it to Apple, but everybody always says this. Buy a product for what it can do now, not what it can do later. And you catch so many people in this because, they say that all the time when they want to downplay some other product, but then when it comes to Apple, nobody wants to say it. Hey, buy it for what it is now. Don't buy it for what it's going to be later. Even though, yes, Apple likely is going to push everything out to it, but you're buying this product sight unseen, still no Apple Intelligence, which is the only reason. And if you want to upgrade from your previous generation, you got to get an all new Apple Pencil. Your old Apple Pencil will not work with it. So not only do you have to pay $4.99 for a new tablet, you got to spend 100 something bucks and get yourself a new Apple Pencil as well. For what? For any day-to-day performance? No, you're going to notice zero difference in your day-to-day life because this tablet is so underpowered and the purpose of it is so underpowered. So, yeah, I'm still waiting for a Pro model. I would go down to the store tomorrow and buy an iPad Mini Pro if it had ProMotion, if it had an AMOLED or a mini LED in it, and had like a 256 option with, there would be some things that I would like. I love smaller form factor stuff. I love the 11-inch Samsung tablet, which of course they killed off this year. There's no 11-inch tablet, only the higher Plus and the Ultra. So I do appreciate Apple's commitment to keeping a smaller tablet. And I know people that love the iPad mini. I bought it last year. I gave it to my son. He used it for like 2 years before it went dead in the water. So yeah, I really like that they have this. And I guess, sure, it's a fine tech refresh. Okay, we're just going to keep the inventory updated. But there's nothing to get excited about here. Basically, they're selling you a tablet that's going to look and act and perform the exact same way, except at some unnamed date in the future, you're going to get Apple Intelligence, which you may or may not care about. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad tablet. I just think it's a terrible upgrade, and I think that it makes no sense. And I think that very, very few people actually care about this, and the ones that do already have an iPad from 3 years ago and are not going to want to have to buy new stuff and upgrade for the same experience. So that's kind of my thoughts on it in a nutshell. I don't really know what Apple is thinking here. They could have had a great opportunity to make a Pro model. They could have had a great opportunity to, change it up a little bit. But no, they didn't. And yeah, it's got this. So anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I'm still sitting here in Tokyo. I'll be here for like another day before I get back to the States, and I will be glad to get back. Not that I haven't enjoyed the ramen and the trip to Tokyo Disneyland. If y'all watch that video, hopefully you enjoyed it. If not, go watch it from yesterday. I did an entire over 30-minute vlog I shot with the iPhone 16 Pro Max at Disneyland Tokyo, and I also included a trip to Tokyo Tower to show that off. So if you ever want to see what Disneyland Tokyo is like, if you want to see what Tokyo Tower is like, go watch it. And it was yesterday's video. So definitely take a look at that. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, whatever, you know where to go. Type it out in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and a little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.